Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the 11B notes on perimeter. So at the end of this, you should be able to say that I can find the perimeter of various objects. All right, so perimeter is simply the distance around an object. Okay, if it's the distance around the circle, it's also called circumference. All right, so with that, let's take a look at a couple examples. We're going to find the perimeter of this. This is example 3 from page 360, so the distance all the way around. If this is a centimeters, this is also a centimeters. If this is a plus 4 centimeters, this is also a plus 4 centimeters. So we can do this a couple different ways. We can just add up all 4 of the sides, or another way to do it is if you know the 2 sides, you can just do twice a plus 4, and that's twice 2a plus 4, so that would be distribute this 2 through and we get 4a plus 8 centimeters is the perimeter of this particular figure. Alright, so let's take a look at another example. This is example 5 from page 362. Find the 3 significant figures the circumference of a circle that has a diameter of 13.8 meters. Okay, so circumference is 2 times pi times r. So what we need to know is we need to figure out the radius. So the radius, hopefully you remember that the radius is half the diameter, so 13.8 divided by 2 gives us, let's see, 13.8 divided by 2, and we get 6.9 meters. So to find their circumference, we'll do C circumference equals 2 times pi times 6.9. Alright, so let's try that. 2 times, let's see, there's a pi button on here somewhere. There it is. 2 times pi times 6.9 will give us the circumference, which is 43 let's see, the 3 significant figures. There's our 3rd significant figure. The 5 tells the 3 to get bigger, so 43.4 meters is the circumference of that thing. Alright? Alright. Let's take a look at one last one here, and this is example 6 from page 362. Okay, and we're going to find the perimeter of this thing here. Alright, so we have to figure out, we know what these 2 sides are. This is also 4.2, this is 10.8, so we basically just got to figure out what this is here. So that's going to be half the circumference, right? And if this is all the way 10.8, if we take 10.8 and divide that by 2, we get 5.4. So this radius here is 5.4. So circumference of the entire circle is going to be 2 times pi times r, right? But we only want half the circle, so if we actually take this and divide it by 2, our half of our circumference is going to be pi times radius. You could do the divide by 2 at the very end if you would like also. But anyway, half of our circumference is going to be pi times 5.4. So we clear this out, and then we do pi. It's usually best to use your actual pi button instead of 3.14 because it starts throwing off your significant figures a little bit. So pi times 5.4, and we get 16.96. So again, there's our 3rd significant figure. The 6 tells the 9 to get bigger, so this is really 17.0. So this here is 17.0 from here around to here. So to figure out our total circumference, it's going to be 4.2 plus 10.8 plus 4.2 plus 17.0. So let's add that all up and see what we get. 4.2 plus 10.8 plus 4.2 plus 17. And we get 36.2 meters. Should be our circumference. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at one last example, and then we'll be done. All right. So find the radius of a circle that has a circumference of 11.7. So now you're starting with the actual circumference, and then you got to figure out what the radius is. So if the circumference is 11.7, we're going to plug that in for the c. So we do 11.7 equals 2 pi r. We want to figure out what r is, so we want to get rid of the 2 and the pi. So we divide both sides by 2 and pi to get rid of those. So we're going to get the radius is going to be 11.7 divided by, and then I would do parentheses on this here, because if you just do divide by 2 pi, it's going to divide by 2 and then multiply by pi. So do parentheses 2 pi, close your parentheses, and we get 1.86. 1.86, and it's in meters. So the radius would be 1.86. Okay, so you should now be able to say that I can find the perimeter of various objects. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks.